Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. It's been a while. I can't lie. Getting a bit of grief off the people, the regulars, you guys that usually follow me. Why aren't you uploading, Steve? What's going on? There's nothing really going on. I just don't feel like there's a lot to talk about. You know what I mean? And I'm not one of these guys that can download 3 times a day just waffling about shit. It's just would just dilute my brain, it dilute your brain, and it just make me feel like I was just waffling for the sake of waffling. So I haven't done much. I have filmed a couple of things for Sky and Lad Bible, etc., which no doubt you'll see in a few weeks. I have been busy with Oasis and just generally working and doing all the things you do pre-season. You know what I mean? Spending a bit of time with the family, etc., and just waiting for the football season to start. But yesterday, there was an open training session at the Etihad Stadium. I went down there, really good attendance, a lot of people there. Was really good to see the women's team and the men's team up close. You know what I mean? This was a big thing that I harboured for last season with the club. I said to them, how are the kids in Manchester supposed to fall in love with these players when you can't get near them? Thankfully, the club listened. We've had a kit launch this year where people went to the store. There was activities on for the people, which was something I asked for as well. And I think it was a good success. I think the club deserves a lot of credit for it. You know what I mean? And a lot of smiles on a lot of faces yesterday. A lot of happy kids coming out of that Joy Stadium with signed shirts and signed autographs, programs, photographs, etc. So that's what it's all about. And you know what I mean? It was an afternoon out of the players' way to interact with the supporters. I think it's not a lot to ask. And I hope it's a regular thing every season where, the supporters, especially in the school holidays, get a chance to go down there, see the heroes and get autographs. It's just a no-brainer for me. You know what I mean? So I'm glad the club listened to a lot of things that we said over the last season. And it can only be a positive moving forward. I then drove from the Etihad to Charlie, where the under-21 team was playing Charlie last night. There was quite a few Blues there. Big up Luke, MCFC lads. Big up Nigel, Gregory, Polish Greg. The usual suspects were there supporting the lads. And the Young Blues won 2-1. Good little setup at Charlie, to be honest. Sometimes, I say it all the time on the Big Six, you can get mobbed down with Premier League football and superstars. And sometimes you need to drag yourself back to football, go and watch a little bit of non-league, go and smell a bit of grass, go and see them kicking off in the tunnel or something, just to get your juices flowing again for football, And last night was the same. We had the Bowden pie and chips before the game. Bit of old school banter on the terraces with the Charlie fans. And yeah, good little game of football. Manchester City's youth team played well. I thought there was plenty of positives in it. I thought City played some great football, knocked it about well, kept the ball well. It was a young side, and I felt like Charlie wasn't the best side. I think when last time we played them, Charlie were a lot better, I thought. But we got the win, you know what I mean? And it was good to see some future stars. I seen Emil Heskey there, his son was playing, and Divine Mukasa, who I think is going to be a good player, just looks very comfortable on the ball. Mfutu as well. I thought he shone last night. He was a good player. So I definitely think there's a lot of positives going forward with the youth team. And these little friendlies like this, Charlie, etc., I think it's good to do. You know what I mean? It'd be great if Man City's under-21s could play like Oldham Athletic, Rochdale, Bury, you know what I mean? Get these games under your belt. Because I think a lot of City fans who can't afford to go to America, etc., would go there and support them. So, yeah, another positive step. So we're talking about the season. Fast approaching. We've got one pre-season game left on Saturday night against Palermo. I've had a bit of a nightmare, I can't lie. I booked my flights, I booked my hotel, got my ticket. I was going to Palermo. General day-to-day life gets in the way, things happen, etc. I now can't go to Palermo. So you know what it's like with Ryanair. You've lost your flights, it's 300 quid down the drain. Thankfully, I got me hotel money back, but unfortunately, I can't go to Palermo. So I'm going to watch it. I believe it's on City TV. So that's something for us to watch on a Saturday night instead of, I don't know, fucking Take Me Out or some shite that's on the telly these days. You know what I mean? So yeah, Palermo. But this will be the last chance, I think, to see the boys before the Wolves game. I know we had a behind the closed doors friendly against Preston North End. I believe we won 1-0. A lot of players got a run out. Rico Lewis scored. Not seen any of the footage or anything, only just seen still pictures. So the lads have had another run out. But as far as the season goes, coming into it, a lot of people asking me what your thoughts are. I'm going to be open and honest. I feel like we did have a good window. I feel like the signings we made are good signings that we needed. That with the January that we had, looks like, we've spent a lot of money, but the squad did need a freshening up. Pep's brought in a new backroom staff, new set piece coach. Pep Linders has come in as assistant. Colo Torre's in there. So the whole backroom staff looks like it's had a refresh. And talking to people last season in and around the club, I think that was always on the cards. You know what I mean? Old members of staff started to leave. People started to get moved about, etc., etc. Probably just got a bit stale. You know what I mean? We've had so much success, so many good times. Sometimes you've got to freshen it up and go again. And I think that's what Pep's done. You know what I mean? But as far as the first team goes, I think up until the Al Hilal game, I think every City fan was very, very confident, very happy with what we were doing. We looked like a team with more options. We looked like a team going forward that could, create chances. We looked like there were little partnerships developing on the pitch. Jeremy Doku, Ait Naori on the left looked good. Reinders was joining in that little triangle. We're seeing Phil Foden looking a different player with Rodri and Reinders in midfield. We're seeing Ryan Cheik coming on, instantly linking up with Foden, instantly looking very, very dangerous. Him and Nunes on the flanks, etc. So it looked like, hold on, we're looking like Manchester City again. Erling Haaland was getting chances. He was creating chances. He looks like a different player. So I think everyone was happy. And then the Al Hilal game kicked in and we realised that, hold on a minute, we're getting unpicked by a long ball down the middle round Ruben Diaz. We're getting stretched all over the park by teams with pace. And I feel like a lot of Premier League teams this season are going down that pace avenue. They're signing a lot of wide men. There's a lot of pace being brought into the league. So I think a lot of City fans are now worrying. A, they're worrying about the pace at the back, and B, they're worrying about the lack of right back. Now, Matheus Nunes, for me, last season did very, very well. I feel like he is a capable right back, but I think anytime we have a bit of a nightmare at the back, the fans are going to be blaming the Nunes right back situation. I know we've got Rico Lewis. I know we've got Matheus Nunes. I know we've got Manuel Akanji. I know we've got John Stones that can all play on that right side. But are they a natural right back? I don't know. So that's the only concern for me, the defence and the pace. I feel like Josko Vardiol and Ruben Diaz centre-back partnership is strong. I feel like that's a partnership that can only blossom into something good. If we can keep Ruben fit and keep Josko fit, I feel like them two, that could be big, Ait Naori on the left, I think he's a breath of fresh air. There's a lot of people saying he's great going forward, he can't defend. Well, we'll see. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Josko on that side helps him a lot. I feel like, Josko's got the pace to get across if needed. It was the other side, with Ruben's side, we were worrying about. Listen, Ruben Diaz is a fantastic defender. You know what I mean? He's full-blooded, wholehearted defending, last-ditch tackling. Everything about him is solid. But we've got to admit, he does lack a little bit of pace. And when they play that bent ball around the side of Ruben and he's exposed, You know, it's a little bit of a weakness. So the right hand side is a worry. We've got Nico O'Reilly that can go in at left back if need be as well. He's just signing a new deal. Pepper said before he's not a left back. But I don't see where else he gets in the team. I don't see him getting in that midfield. It looks very, very congested at the minute. We've got a lot of bodies in that midfield, and I'm worrying where people are going to get game time. But back on the defence, I think City have got some tough decisions to make. Vitor Reyes has left and gone to Girona on loan. I feel like that's a very, very good move. I think that Reyes is a very talented player, and every time he's played for Man City since he's been here, I don't think he's put a foot wrong. I think he's very young, he's very raw, and I think he'll benefit from a full season at Girona and come back next season a totally different player. So I'm up for that. We've got Kusanov, who started like a house on fire. He had a couple of mad moments, etc. We know what he's about. Very, very young, very, very raw. I think Pep took him out the firing line. Could he possibly be the right back option? We never know. Is he a right back? I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing how he starts the season and who gets the nod there. But we've also got Akanji, Ake, Stones. We've got 3 players who are getting older. They're not getting any fitter. The injury records are getting worse. We know we've got to cut the squad. Would any of you cut one of them? You know, I'm asking. Ake, Akanji, Stones. Does one of them go out the door? Because I think we're top heavy at the back. We've also got Jumba Bar that has gone on loan to Nice, who's another exciting centre back who next season probably going to be coming in. Or do we keep the old guard for this season? Do we need bodies? Is John Stones going to be happy playing a bit part role? Is Akanji? I mean, Akanji seems to play a lot of games when he's fit, to be fair. I think Pep likes him. And Nathan Ake, Nathan's Nathan, you know what I mean? He's usually solid and reliable, but it's the fitness. So that back 4, I feel like we're a bit heavy there. I feel like he's going to cut it. We're moving into the midfield. We've got Nico Gonzalez, who has not played as many games as he probably likes. We've got Reinders and Rodri. Obviously, Rodri got injured against Al Hilal. He felt something. He has been training, but we've got to realise that Rodri is coming off the back of an injury, bad injury. So people saying Gonzalez won't play. He might play early doors with Reinders if Rodri's not quite there. We've also got Bernardo Silva in the mix, who, you know, is always dependable, always reliable, very rarely injured. He's going to be in there. We've got Ryan Cherki, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Ilkay Gundogan, James McAtee, Mateo Kovacic, all fighting it out for these sort of middle of the park. So again, I feel like this player is going to leave the midfield. Who would you get rid of in the midfield realistically? Is he going to keep Ilkay Gundogan because of what Ilkay brings to the squad, the team? He's a leader, you know what I mean? He's been there, he's seen it all. Do we need Ilkay Gundogan in there? I believe there's no point in getting rid of him now. I think he needs to stay. Kovacic is injured. McAtee, for me, is a great young player. I don't think he gets in the side, so he would be one I would sell. Is the danger of a Cole Palmer situation coming back and biting us on the arse? 100%. We could see that. But at the minute, for what I've seen, I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's quite there for us, if you know what I'm saying. So he would be one I would sell. The Jack Grealish situation, we spoke about it a lot. I think a lot of people realised and thought that this was Jack's farewell. There's rumours coming out in the press that him and Pep spoke at the Oasis concert, etc. It might be better for him to stay. I mean, that's fine. And I think all City fans would love Jack Grealish to stay. But where's he going to play? And how's he going to play? You know, we seem to see these videos in pre-season of Jack training and he looks the part. He comes back, he's all smiles. And then when the season starts, it doesn't quite work for him. I know he lives in the Northwest now. I know he's got a young baby and a missus and stuff, so he probably don't want to uproot anywhere far. But I can see possibly a late window loan move for Jack. I think Jack needs to play football now. I don't think he can hang around on the bench. I think he's got to play. He's lost his England place. He's lost his mojo a little bit. I think he needs to play football. So that's one I could see. Whether anyone's going to take a punt and buy him outright, I don't know. Whether it will be a loan with an obligation to buy, etc. That could happen. But I can definitely see Jack Grealish floating around the Premier League in the Northwest somewhere. I can see it on loan if City help with the wages. But we'll see on that one. And then you're looking at the strike force. You've got Omar Mamouche. You've got Erling Haaland. You have got Savinho, Jeremy Doku. So we're looking okay up front. But the question mark is, again, Jeremy Doku, Savinho. We've seen it last season. Very, very unpredictable. Very, very up and down. Lacking of end product. We can't afford to be like that this season. We can't afford to have the big man stood in the box on his own and him getting no service. This is why I feel like Cheik has been brought in to spice it up. I think Cheik is going to bring the best out of Foden. I don't think Phil can afford to have a season like he had last season. He'll know that. You know what I mean? After what he's done in the game and what he's achieved, for me, you can have a bad season here and there. But he's got to be in it next season. I think a lot of City fans were worried about him last year. Things were coming out about his mental health, etc. We don't know how true they are, but it definitely didn't look like the same Phil Foden. But what we've seen in pre-season, he's back in the goals. He looked like he was finally getting the ball in them little tiny spaces he wanted it. I said it all last season. You're not going to get an Ilkay Gundogan, Mateo Kovacic, a Ruben Diaz, a Manuel Akanji on the edge of the box, threading that ball into them little gaps. They're not brave enough to do it. They'd rather go side to side. This Cheik does not give a fuck. He's getting that ball and he's going direct. And if he has to jink past a couple to slide it into a little gap for Phil Foden, that is what he's going to do. And that is the best version of Phil Foden, the street ball of Phil Foden, the one that's playing like a kid in the playground, that has just got no fear. That is the best version of Phil Foden. Ryan Cheik will bring that out in him. I'm sure of it. So overall, the squad looks very good. A lot better than last season. I always go back to the FA Cup final for reference of how stale this squad got. Last season's FA Cup against Palace, watch that game back. It was horrendous. Side to side, boring football, coming out from the back. Palace letting us have the ball, didn't care, knew he wasn't a threat, knew that Haaland was locked up, knew Kevin De Bruyne couldn't do anything, knew Jeremy Doku was going to run into dead ends, knew Savinho was running into dead ends. They played the game, got the result. I don't think people can do that to us this season. I feel like we've got options all across the park. We've not even spoke about Echeverri. I mean, Echeverri looks a very young, exciting player. Do you know what I mean? We've seen him score his first goal in pre-season. And I feel like, you know, he's going to be a great talent. And there's talk of him going out on loan to a Premier League club. I mean, is it better for him to go to a Premier League club and play? Or is it better for him to stay and get a couple of games here and there with City, but he trains with the lads every day, he learns the system, he learns what Pep demands of him, and he gets a season under his belt shadowing this team? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Pep and the staff would have discussed it, but I feel like Echeverri could impact games for us. I feel like he's a good option, and I feel like great talent. We don't want him to go to another Premier League club, learn bad habits, come back a different player. You know what I mean? Oh, well, I was playing here and this is how we did it. I'd rather him know how we do it at Manchester City. Phil Foden, we resisted the urge of loaning Foden out for a long time because we wanted him to shadow David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne and train with Yaya and Aguero. We wanted him to learn, and he did, and it did him well. Whether Echeverri will want that, I don't know. He's very young. He wants to play football. He's Argentinian. They're very, demanding. So I'm not sure. And then we've got the goalkeeper situation. Obviously, we've signed James Trafford. It was a great goalkeeper for City where he was here. Just wasn't quite ready. He's gone to Burnley. He had one season in the Premier League where, he was very, very unlucky. But the season he had last season in the Championship, the clean sheets, etc., I think he got City's, radar up again. And we thought, what, we're going to have to take him back. So I think he's going to be a good signing. I think Traff knows the club inside out. And he's very, very determined. He's got a little bit of arrogance about him. He wants to be the number one, which I like. And he's going to fight it out. I feel that Ortega will probably leave. I feel like he'll probably leave. I feel like Ederson will be number one starting the season, but Traff will get his chance in the Carabao Cup, maybe the FA Cup, maybe Champions League in lesser games. So hopefully there's a battle there. I think Ederson's only got one more year left in him, and I think it'll be time for Trafford to take number one if he's good enough. So we'll see with that. You know what I mean? I'm excited by it. So overall, I'm not worried about the squad. I feel like we've got the squad to do what we need to do. Can we win the league? Obviously, me, 100%, I always say we can. And I do believe that we're going to be there or thereabouts. Are we going to get bumps in the road? 100% we're going to get bumps in the road. We're not that team anymore. We need to realise that. Have we got to be patient? Yeah. Will there be times when we feel like we've gone back to this side-to-side passing game? Probably. We're probably going to see that. You know what I mean? There's going to be times when Pep is going to rely on the old guard and it's not going to work, but that's Pep. We've been with him for 10 years. He's been with us for 10 years. We know what he's like. We've just got to get behind him. You know what I mean? Get behind him. Off the pitch, the club listened to a lot of things the fans said last year, the 1894 group and all the content creators, etc., and all you fans that joined in the protest. It was worth it. We got the extra season tickets we wanted. We might not have got the number in an ideal world we wanted, but we got some. So credit to everyone involved in the football club for doing that. We got ticket prices reduced, and we starting to see the club listening to the fans moving forward. And it just proves that if you protest in the right way and not stupid, and you're respectful and you get things done proper and organised, then the club will listen. You know, there's certain clubs not too far away from us been protesting for 20 years, still in the same shit. Nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? The owners throw them a bone. They run away back to the kennel with it, and they're happy as shit. We don't do that at Manchester City. I'm sorry, we don't. We've never been blinded by trophies and silverware. We've always been about what's best for the club and the future. And I think the club's realising that now. And these small steps, the open day yesterday, where the women's team and the men's team and all the fans can get together, brilliant step in the right direction for the club going forward. And the kit launch, little activities at the club, things happening like that, bring the team coaching, let people go. Little things like that make a massive difference to a community. We're Manchester people. We love the football club. But these kids need little things like that to be remember it by. I remember an open day at May Road when I was a kid, and Georgie Kincladze was chased off the pitch. Everybody jumped out the kit packs and legged it across the pitch and chased him down the tunnel. Mike Summerby was on the pitch going mad, telling everyone to get off. People were swinging on the crossbars. It was mental. But I always remember it because we got to see Kincladze up close and personal, you know what I mean? And we got to see the players. So big up to the club for doing that. And yeah, hopefully it can continue. I also wanted to speak about Cheik Bergenstein, Brickenstein, however you say it. Cheik, Tixe, whatever. He retired 13 years, 21 trophies. Now, I believe he's a very, very underrated part of what this football club has become. I feel like he's been the ambassador for this football club, the face of it off the pitch, the first person to contact the players, the new players and agents, the first person to represent us at UEFA meetings, at Champions League meetings, etc. And I feel he's been a very, very, very good appointment. I feel like him and Soriano laid down the foundations for this football club to build. I feel like his relationship with Pep Guardiola has probably kept him here for 10 years. And a lot of the players seem to speak highly of him. So for me, on a personal note, I just want to say thank you to Cheeky for always, being the face of the football club and putting the football club first. I know he's always been very approachable. I've always seen fans talking to him. He's always had pictures stopped. People have had little transfer talks with him in the street, and he's always been, respectful and always, talk to people, which is, some CEOs, some football men don't do that. So for me, he came to Manchester, the rainy city. He embraced it. He stayed here for a long time. He changed the face of this football club, and he changed the face of English football with Pep Guardiola. So he deserves his time in the sun. So I just wanted to say thank you to him, and I'm sure the fans that watch this, the rest of the City fans that are watching it, would say the same. That the job he did at Manchester City be brilliant, and hopefully his new successor, Hugo Viana, can come in now, see where he left off, start to freshen up the department, start to go with a different, energy. And we need to go again. We've had 10 years of success. We need to start another period and go again. We need another period of domination. We've seen other teams spending big this summer. It's going to be tough, but we've got the resources and the people in the club to do it. So moving on to the Premier League, I was seeing the other day we are the third favourites of the Premier League, which is we've not been third favourites of the Premier League for a long time. I personally don't mind it. Keep the pressure off the boys. Let's grow into the season. You know what I mean? I've always said we've got to keep on the coattails of the leaders towards the end of the season, because I believe if Man City are within 6 points of the top with 10 games to go, that's our time to shine. I feel like we can step it up. But I think it's going to be a tough season. I feel like Chelsea are a decent team. I feel like Chelsea in 2 years' time will be a problem. You know what I mean? With the young players they're signing, Javi Simons, Hato, João Pedro. They've got Estivio coming in. They've got Kendry Piaz and all these boys loaned out at Strasbourg, ready to come in the next couple of years. I think Chelsea are going to be quite strong. Arsenal have finally added the striker they wanted. It was all about Rice the other year and what he was going to do. Now it's about Gyökeres. They've also added Zubimendi. So let's not kid anyone. Arsenal are a good side. Can Gyökeres get them over the line? I'm not sure. I think they're going to have similar problems to what we had with Ireland. I feel like they're going to have to change the play. I think there's going to be games where Gyökeres is going to be locked up and he's not going to get a touch. And that's when your midfield's got to step in and win you the game. If they can't do that, I think the Arsenal fans, they're not the most tolerable bunch. They're going to be on his case and genuinely rip him apart. So I'm looking forward to the up and down meltdown from AFTV and all the boys, you know what I mean? So that's just standard, but let's see. And then you've got Liverpool, who, we know what they did last season. They were brilliant. They won the league at Cantor. Arne Slot came in, did what he needed to do, and got them over the line, which is something Arsenal couldn't do. They've signed very, very well. You know what I mean? Florian Wirtz is a player I wanted at Manchester City. He's gone to Liverpool. Great, great player. Frimpong and Kirkes gives them balance on the fullbacks. And then they've gone and added Etike, whatever he's called. Can't say their names, me. He's a good player, by the way. A very, very good player. Very, very big, mobile. Reminds me a little bit of an Elka. Very, very slight in stature, but burst of pace, finish. He's good. And then they're going to add Alexander Isak, who at the minute is the main striker in Europe. So they're going to spend all the money. They're going to get that tag now. Oh, you bought the league, you've done this, you know what I mean, etc., etc. We've had it for years. So finally they can do it. But, for me, I've never been bothered about what people spend. When I was growing up watching football, there were teams that spent money and there were teams that didn't spend money. And that's just how you knew where your pecking order was, you know what I mean? You had to find your diamonds, your gems. Sometimes you got them stolen off you and sold them, but then you rebuilt your squad. That's just the way it is, So Liverpool are entitled to do what they want. Chelsea are as well. But what I can't get with Chelsea is, they're selling these hotels back to themselves. They're getting fined 40 million here, there, and the other. And no one's talking about it. But if it was us doing it because we were winning, we're getting ripped apart. Every other show I was going on, or every channel I was going on, I was always being called a cheat and a 115 and all this. So it became kind of boring, you know what I mean? But I just want the press and the media to keep the same energy for these teams. You know what I mean? But I can see FFP getting scrapped. It's not working. It's a joke. People are just looking for ways around it. So for me, they need to scrap it. For me, financial fair play should be debt-based. If your team is in debt by X amount, you cannot spend money. Simple as that. Your club's running out of debt. You know what I mean? So there you go. Other than that, people, just want to have a special mention for Oasis. A lot of us went to Eaton Park. A lot of us went to Wembley Stadium. I was fortunate enough to go Eaton Park twice and Wembley. Totally different experiences. Eaton Park was brilliant for different reasons. You know what I mean? I thought the vibe, the energy was fucking fantastic. All the fans on Gallagher Hill, loving it. Thought it was great. And then you've got Wembley, which was a different animal again. Like you say, the sound was mad in the stadium and just such a great day. Really, really enjoyed it. And then we've got all the Man United fans who were upset because I said that we saw you doing the Poznan with your bird at Oasis. I've never seen so many rattled, upset, fuming Man United fans because of that statement. And that was not a bullshit statement, people. There were people at Wembley and at Eaton Park with them free Glazer bucket hats that they got when Ngundo scored, doing the Poznan with a bird. Now, I'm not being funny. And then they say, well, the Poznan's not yours. Well, we know it's not ours, but you know Manchester City do the Poznan. Do you know what I mean? You know that we grow into it. We've done it against you at the FA Cup semi-final when they read out the teams, etc. So Sunderland did the Poznan when you lost the league on the last day. So let's not admit and let's not cry that the Poznan really does fucking upset you lot that much. It does. Because looking at the comments on my TikTok and the Instagram is sensational shit. And then they tried to twist it and go, because we're Man United fans, we're not allowed to go to Oasis. Nobody said that, mate. You can go to Oasis. Of course you can. The Mancunian band, it's music. It's not about football. My point was, what I found weird was these Man United fans wearing Man United shirts to go and watch Oasis, who they know are Man City fans. They've got a cardboard cutout of Pep on stage and a massive City badge. And you're there with your United shirt on like you're some sort of rebel. That was my point. If I went to a Simply Red concert in my City shirt, trying to get Mick Hucknall wound up, I'd be an absolute fucking helmet. So that's my point, yeah? Don't be one of them helmets, because Liam and Noel don't give a fuck. They had you doing the Poznan with your bird. There's been T-shirts made of it now. There's now a flag being made of it. So I know it upsets you. That is why we're doing it. The Poznan upsets United fans ever since Sunderland did it. So don't let them kid you. And at the end of the day, Dave, your next door neighbour, and fucking John with Edna and Eileen were seen doing the Poznan at Eaton Park with the fucking Glazer bucket hats on. End of story. There's video footage about it. So get over it. You know what I mean? Build a bridge and get over it. We saw you doing it at the end of the day. We saw you doing it. So on that note, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button. My algorithm is dead. I've not done a video for 6 weeks. So YouTube is not my friend. So you're probably not going to see any videos of me pop up. So if you can share it, please share it. If you like, leave a comment. I'll get back to you. And yeah, this is me going forward. I'm going to get some more content out there. I'm really looking forward to the season. Let's get ready for it. Let's get G'd up for Wolves away. Get behind the boys this season. Push them over the line, because last season not winning anything was a bit of a bitter pill to swallow. This season is our season. We're taking it all back. Up the Blues.